There are already a ton of Chinese brands in the market, but there will now be yet another wave coming. Take note of these brand names: OMODA and JAECOO. Now, you probably never heard of these two brands that we've been covering ever since they told us we're coming to the Philippines, actually, and that was our cue to act. So, being the inspiring figure in the AutoDeal team, I sent the most qualified person we had ever heard of to China, Earl. God help us. Now, what he discovered in his homeland, his words not mine, was a full brand experience with many nationalities coming together and celebrating these two marquees, from Eastern Europe to the Middle East and all the way over to Mexico and Chile. There were so many countries coming together. Oh, and they even put all of these countries together on a boat, in ballrooms, and even through a test drive, which we'll talk about more a little bit later. But before we head into the cars, let's talk about the brands, shall we? Okay, so first is OMODA. Yes, OMODA. The O in OMODA indicates surprise, positivity, and energy. It's also derived from the symbol of oxygen, a necessary element of life. Get it? Okay, so on the other hand, MODA is patterned after the word modern. MODA means modern and fashionable. As a brand, OMODA promises to deliver vehicles with sleek exterior styling and high-tech features. Aimed at younger car buyers with a penchant for futuristic looks and features, OMODA says that they're very progressive and very willing to listen to what their customers want in their cars. In fact, Earl was asked several times about what features people would like to see in the Philippines. Meanwhile, JAECOO puts a strong image for itself, appealing to buyers who are more in the tune with the work-life balance, with the car settling into the hustle and bustle of the city while still being able to get down and dirty. I like that. I like that a lot. Promising to deliver capable and tough cars that do well on-road as well as off-road, the JAECOO brand will be the sibling marquee to the OMODA brand in the Philippines. It's important to note that these two brands will be made available in the Philippines towards the end of the year. Think the third or fourth quarter of 2023. And here are two models that they will be bringing in first. Now, you might be wondering how will these two brands fare in terms of reliability? Just completely legit question. Let's just say that both OMODA and JAECOO are backed by the biggest exporter in China. And when Earl asked about the promise of reliability, he was told that the cherry on top of the ownership experience will be a very, very comprehensive warranty. Think 3 years of service, 5 years of bumper-to-bumper coverage, and up to, get this, 10 years on the powertrain. Now, while the arrangement isn't final yet, it's within the realm of the possibility, at least according to OMODA JAECOO team. They will try. Their words, not ours. The OMODA 5 will headline the brand's entry into the Philippines. Poised to take on other brands in the subcompact crossover segment of the country, of course, the OMODA 5 will come with a striking front end, a dashing belt line, and a memorable rear clip. LEDs are found all around, and it does have a rather unique design. Unique, yeah, I can tell you that. Yeah, unique. It's pretty too. The interior will be equally as stunning with OMODA's use of choice materials, finishes, and upholsteries, though we just want to make it clear that the piano black plastic on the steering wheel, that has to go. No. Apart from that, the first impressions are looking promising, and the interior doesn't evoke a feeling of cheapness. OMODA states that they are still in the process of determining the final spec that these cars will come in for the Philippine market. And that doesn't just include the trimmings on the doors. No. That also includes the features like advanced driver assist systems or ADAS, a sunroof, and even a power tailgate, among many, many other things. Oh, and the head unit can also come with Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, wireless charging, and even voice commands that were surprisingly responsive as Earl tested. Earl got to drive the OMODA 5 in China, and he had this to say, and I quote, "With its 1.5-liter turbocharged engine, it makes 148 horses and 230 Nm of torque course through a CVT. The engine delivered in the low end, punching out a good response when demanding to accelerate from a standstill, but a little lacking when asked to speed up past 100 kilometers per hour. Now, Earl consulted with the product team of OMODA and gave his thoughts and suggested that it had something to do with the transmission, and to which they got a reply, or rather he got a reply, and they said, "We will try." Other than that, the handling is extremely light, the suspension is pretty comfy, and the noise inside the cabin, according to Earl, was pretty negligible. Overall, a very competent car with a few points for improving when it comes to driving. Earl did continue to say the following: "I did knock on the door cards and other interior panels a lot, and it's safe to say that the plastics aren't too shabby, at least in a vacuum. There are pieces that I would have swapped out for matte plastics, but at least the AC controls aren't somewhere in the infotainment system for you to dig through. Space is at par with other subcompact crossovers, and the OMODA 5, well, overall, presents a decent package when it comes to the interior. Personally, I found the blue interior, or rather favor the blue interior, but the black upholstery with the beige piping is also the second best option in my book." Now, this is the JAECOO 7, and what a car. If you ask me, it takes some cues from Land Rover, but it's all the better for it. The boxy lines are met with curves that keep it from looking like a Jeep, but it still looks tough, but oh so classy at the same time. The exterior design is definitely an eye-catcher. It's a compact crossover slash SUV as positioned by the JAECOO brand, and it's right up there with other 5-seater crossovers in the market in terms of specs. Earl also got to drive this car in China, and he had to say this: "It expectedly handles like a crossover in the compact segment. The tall center of mass is managed well by the unibody chassis and the suspension." Now, we were told to go through a slalom, and I really wanted to test out the engine's chops, and of course the suspension's limits. The model that we got was the 1.6-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder with 197 horses and 290 Nm of torque that sends power to all 4 wheels. The transmission is a 7-speed dual clutch unit that returns a decent amount of response without feeling too slushy, at least during the short test drive. Though the slalom, or rather through the slalom, the engine was consistent whenever I needed to power out, and the chassis is surprisingly flexible. It's not a small car, but with the light steering and the competence of the chassis, I had a fun time throwing it around cones and accelerating. Earl also continues to say, because he's really a very chatty fellow, the interior isn't too shabby as well, and it looks very durable, but premium at the same time. If you're a fan of the FJ Cruiser or other retro rugged SUVs and crossovers, this will fit the bill nicely for you. The large screen really sells it for me, but unlike the OMODA 5, the unit that we got doesn't have Apple CarPlay or Android Auto, which was another point that I brought up to the OMODA JAECOO team. Boy, this Earl is very opinionated, man. Can't he just shut up and drive?
I did.
No, you apparently didn't. You were just yapping and yapping their ears off, man. Shut up every once in a while. OMODA states that they're trying to price their cars well for the Philippine market. And with the country already growing very accustomed to Chinese cars, it seems like it's the right time for them to enter. OMODA also told us that they're trying to aim for a price point of under or around 1.5 million Philippine pesos. Now, while over in China, Earl was trying his darndest to make sure that these cars will have a price tag that will be irresistible given all the features and specs that OMODA and JAECOO will come up with. But what are your thoughts? Let us know in the comments below, because these two brands have promised us that they will listen to consumers. So let's ask you guys. Let us and OMODA and JAECOO know all your thoughts in the comment sections down below. What do you want to see in their cars? It can be pretty much anything, like interior colors, features, or even exterior colors. Post your comments on this video and let them know what you want to see in the upcoming OMODA 5 and the JAECOO 7, and they will try. Their words, not ours. Okay, so apart from that, be sure to subscribe to our channel, follow us on our social media pages, and also log on to AutoDeal.com.ph to stay up to date on the best deals and the newest cars to hit the Philippines. Until next time, stay safe. See you soon.